You open.
Alright, hey guys, this
How
is
you doing?
Justin and Eddie again, and this time we're doing a spoiler review of Captain America Civil War. Now, for those of you who are still want to check the movie out, please, there's going to be a lot of spoilers in this review.
This movie's going to be verbatim with spoilers, so
yeah.
just go and check
Go
out
and check it out.
our. If you want to check out another review, we do have a spoiler-free
review. Yeah, but in the meantime, definitely go check out the film, and we're going to go into our thoughts with a lot of details about the movie.
Yep.
And
so starting back with the first Captain America.
Okay, well, the first Captain America, for those of you who don't know, was the first Avenger. I really like the film a lot. I like how it captured the backstory with Captain America and how he fought Red Skull and all that, especially
Which is one of his biggest villains of Captain America.
And it also introduced us to Bucky as well. Yep. And Winter Soldier, I really love too because it got better because this time he's fighting his own best friend.
You see a good true step in these films, which is why I loved about Captain America. Like, I'm a DC fan, and I'm a big Nolan Dark Knight series, and I think that was the best trilogy I've ever seen out of all superhero movies.
Yeah.
But now we got Marvel, and I'm starting to really get more into Marvel. The reason why I've not been as big as in Marvel is the favoritism of children. I'm not no children hater. I just think that, it kind of was too kiddish. But now we're starting to get on everybody's level.
Yeah.
And Captain America, it's been, with the first one, the first Avenger. Then Winter Soldier was really good. And this one, Civil War, was magnificent. I mean,
I can say
awesome.
It's so far been the best out of the trilogy.
It is the best. It's like a step. It's like a step up. Yeah.
But anyway, as the story goes, pretty much, okay, Captain America and crew, including Black Widow, the Falcon, and Scarlet Witch, are looking for the guy from the second film, the Winter Soldier, the one who went rogue and was trying to kill Captain America. I forgot his name. I forgot the character's name.
So we're in Africa, and they think they're going after him. They think that's him. Yeah. But they fight this group. Basically, long story short, they find a guy from Part 2 who survived, if you all remember.
He got exploded. He was caught up in an explosion when him and
he was the dark hair guy.
He was fighting one of his friends. I forgot.
And he basically turned into some big Hydra soldier, and he was in some kind of like machine thing. Yeah, like some high tech weaponry, shields.
But anyway, while they're looking for him, they discover that when they get to him, after he's about to give himself up, the Scarlet Witch actually kills him. Mm-hmm. She literally picks him up and slams in a building that explodes, that kills innocent people.
Basically what it is how it starts off is the Avengers, they've been penalized for... The government's pretty much not happy of them, like their past movies, like with the Avengers and the old Captain Americas and stuff. Basically, and it leads up to this one where they accidentally, like he said, where Scarlet ends up fucking killing, basically they think of themselves. They kind of get a little selfish. They don't want to blow up. They throw the bomb, but they accidentally threw that bomb into the middle of a crowd, which kills, all the civilians.
Yeah.
It kills, all these workers and civilians. And basically, they're brought up upon the UN, the World Justice, the New World Order, the U.S. government, and basically told they are done. They are finished. They
are now under control under the government for when they are needed.
Or they're done, or they will be jailed for the rest of their lives. Retire or spend the rest of your life in prison.
Yes. And it's also... from the beginning of the movie, we see, and this comes into later, there's a foreshadowing that happens where Bucky has a early mission in 1991 where he is unthawed and he starts working for Hydra. And so they bring him back.
It shows us
the Winter Soldier. We actually get the backstory of why he becomes the Winter Soldier.
Yeah,
and so he goes after this mission where he's having to retrieve an extraction and bring it back to create the perfect super soldiers. Now, keep in mind, we'll get to this later, but this becomes a crucial plot point later.
Yes, it does.
But anyway, so Scarlet Witch kills the guy from the second one. I forgot his name. But this ends up causing the government a lot of losses and everything. And so now...
they now want to start controlling the people.
Yes. And now...
the Avengers. So basically, it pretty much goes where... They're told to make an ultimatum. Tony Stark goes pretty much rogue, Iron Man. He goes rogue and pretty much says, we're going to work for the government, or we're going to retire. We're done. And then you got Captain America, who's thinking of, he doesn't like that choice because he knows the government doesn't know all the things that are going on throughout the world. That's the reason why they are the first responders. He don't like it. It kind of starts some fights, some arguments.
And then now we've discovered that Bucky is now still on the run, and so now they're still trying to capture Bucky. Now, the reason why this has become a crucial part with the government is because there's a part later in the film where we're introduced to the father of the guy, forgot his character's name, but the guy who eventually becomes Black Panther. So his father is at this hosting meeting that they meet in Africa, or whatever it's at.
The UN, because he's the one who wants to start. He's the one who... It happened in his country, from what we were telling you, where Scarlet actually did the bomb.
Yeah.
He wants the Avengers stopped and being controlled. So they do a UN meeting, and the ones who are on Tony Stark's side show up in support. They believe they need to be controlled.
Yeah.
And basically what happens is somebody lets off a bomb, and when they let off the bomb, it ends up killing the ambassador of the African country of Zimbabwe.
Yes.
I think it was Zimbabwe.
I think it was. I can't remember.
I can't remember either, but it ends up killing him and the son.
And the son, I forgot the character's name, but the son eventually discovers that the one he believes the one behind it was Bucky.
Yes.
And so now the whole team is going after Bucky.
Yeah, and then there's videos, surveillance pretty much showing Bucky's face.
Yes.
So everybody believes that Bucky is now back in full form. He's killing everybody again from years ago, from the second one. So they think, okay, now we have to find Bucky and kill him.
Yes.
It has to happen. So basically, that causes feud between Captain America. You know how he will not make any negotiations whatsoever for Bucky to die, and then Tony Stark says he's got to die.
Yeah. And so they, after a cool action scene, which is pretty cool how they break in and they go through that whole like downstairs and they're trying to fight. Like Captain America is trying to protect Bucky and try to get him out.
Oh, he finds Bucky.
He finds Bucky, and then they go down the stairs and Bucky's like slamming.
Basically, he
left
finds
and right.
Bucky because Bucky was walking around. He's pretty much broke down, and he's pretty much lost everything he had. And people start recognizing him. They report it to the police.
Yeah.
Bucky is countered, and Captain America, for some reason, unexplained. I really don't know how. I guess he has super senses.
No, it's based on estimation because he's following like the last places he would have been at before or something. I don't know. I had to.
Well,
really
he knows that he came at the right time where Bucky's about to get ambushed by the entire German squad.
Yeah.
The military, and then that's when the fights break loose and all
Well,
that.
no, well, not to cut you off, but there was also the reason why he finds out where Bucky is because there was the place where remember another character that comes in who's the main villain of the film, Emo, or I think his name, or Chemo, or forgot his name, but he takes a guy as he tortures this guy, hangs him upside down in the water, and that's where Captain America shows up after the guy leaves. So keep in mind, this character that we're talking about, he's the reason why all this shit is happening. But anyway, that's how Bucky finds where Captain America's at, and that's how they cross each other's paths.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But anyway, yeah, they get after a cool action scene where they're busting through the cops and shit going down the
good fight scene,
especially when he's slamming guys down.
Bucky, pretty much, while fighting the people, he doesn't trust Captain America still, so he fights him off and beats him. And then, upon escaping, he runs into Black Panther, which is the ambassador who died, and then the son, ambassador's son, is Black Panther, and he wants to get pretty much Bucky.
Yes,
because he thinks Bucky.
Because he thought he killed his dad, and so they're going on the run trying to get Bucky, and then after they catch Bucky, after a long chase and everything,
it leads to Captain America, everybody getting arrested through that long fight, and pretty much they go to this big, heavily sealed prison, which they have Bucky in custody, and then they have Captain America and everybody else in custody because Captain America is accused of, harboring a fugitive, harboring him.
And then then Tony Stark wants Captain America to sign that he wants to make sure that they take down Bucky or to keep him locked up.
He wants him to sign, he also wants him to sign his rights over, saying that the government controls him. Yeah, and which Captain America
didn't want to sign.
He doesn't want to. Yeah.
He doesn't do it, and so then we're treated to a scene where the guy we mentioned earlier, who had the guy who's the main villain of the film,
he killed the original psychologist.
Yeah, he killed the original psychologist. So he's taking over his role, and he's interviewing Bucky, and then the lights go out and everything, and then Bucky escapes after Emo actually makes Bucky come back to life as the Winter Soldier.
Basically what it is, we get to finally figure out what is programming Bucky, and basically what it is a verbal code that they mention.
Yeah.
They bring up to it, and it triggers a mechanism in his brain, which makes him get like 10 to 100 times more powerful than he was in the previous film, and he pretty much you can't stop him. He's uncontrollable.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
so after he breaks loose, pretty much they have to all go out. Captain America eventually works. He gets him to join him after a long battle and everything, and so now Bucky is now at Captain America's side. Yeah. In the meantime, we have a subplot which is very interesting, where Tony Stark, because he realizes that Bucky's such a threat, he realizes that he needs help. So he goes he goes to New York, where we get introduced to Spider-Man.
Spider-Man,
who is now part of the Marvel
basically
universe.
They pretty much Captain America and Tony Stark look at each other and they basically say, "All right, you don't believe me? I'm on your side. We're gonna have to go to war over this."
Yeah,
and they realize that they're both gonna have to fight. Yep, and basically, Captain America does his thing and saves Bucky, and protects him and gets away from that area, and he's harboring Bucky and.
And then they have to go. And what they're doing is they're trying to look for the guy who set Bucky up. So they're going after him.
Captain America knows that he's
set up
because that guy was reading some code that Captain America overheard over the videotapes.
Yeah,
he knew you set him off.
Yeah, they know that Emo is doing that. So now he's going after him. At the same time, Tony Stark realized that Bucky's such a threat. And he realized that the other team has joined Captain America. So now he goes after Spider-Man, who, as we're introduced, he's still a young teenager.
And the good thing is, and I worried about Spider-Man, we've already had previous Spider-Man films.
Yeah.
I was thinking, okay, now we're going to get a Spider-Man that's already fought Green Goblin and all that stuff, and then eventually down the road, we'll get a movie that's a prequel, and it'll be build up to this. No, they actually get Spider-Man while he's learning his powers.
Yeah.
So Spider-Man is still, not even knowing what he's capable of doing, which I actually buy more.
Yeah.
I'm actually glad because I really don't want to see that prequel where you have to keep building up to the point.
Yeah.
I want to see. I like what they did. They got him when he's young, so we will get movies after.
That is very clever too, because they also show in one part that Spider-Man still has like a prototype costume, and Peter Parker is still in the process of making his own costume.
Yeah,
and also the fact that Peter is trying to choose between whether because this is the film.
This is why I like. No, this is the clever thing. Basically, like he said, we get Peter Parker in a regular suit, like some stocking homemade stuff, kind of like we had in all the Spider-Mans.
Well, the first one.
The first one until he gets his real uniform. This one was able to create a universe where Tony Stark makes his uniform.
Yeah.
And I like that.
That is interesting. Good time.
Yeah.
But also, it's cool because I can see what they're doing with this Spider-Man, because unlike the other Spider-Mans, this Spider-Man is still choosing whether he wants to do good for others or just go with the regular side of being a superhero. He has a good balance of what he wants to be, and he can't decide.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that they brought this Spider-Man in where he's actually not on either side. He's just choosing himself.
Yeah.
And so he recruits Peter Parker, and now Bucky,
basically we're left. Captain America is pretty much left to make his team, and Tony Stark is to make his team, and they will meet.
And,
Yeah,
and
in a
now,
battle. Yeah.
so you got Tony Stark recruiting Scarlet Witch, or I'm sorry, not Scarlet Witch, the Ultron guy, forgot from the second one. I forgot his name. I'm sorry if I correct me if I'm wrong. But the guy Jarvis, the one who became the ultimate person, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, they get him, and they also get War Machine's back, also, and you also got Scarlett Johansson's character, Black Widow. She's joined Tony
She's
Stark.
actually went rogue on Captain America and went against him on what he's doing. Basically saying that he either joins them or he has to go down like Bucky does.
Yeah. So now Captain America, Steve Rogers is going after the ones on his team, which actually includes Ant-Man, who was from the previous movie.
Yep.
And he also recruits Hawkeye, of course, and Scarlet Witch and Falcon. So they all come together, and then they both go to each other. So now,
we are leaving out one thing I did want to mention. That code we were talking about that sets Bucky off, what comes from a red book. And the red book that this guy has a hold of, it ties in with the first one. It's Red Skull's original how to develop these
I guess
soldiers.
I missed that part.
Yeah, I caught on to that part, and I thought that was pretty clever. I was like, wow, this is technically Red Skull's book. He's showing them how to do it. That I like that, So we can get an assumption that this thing is being passed down through family, through, and Hydra is part of him,
Yeah.
I like that, because really he was star of Hydra, so.
Yeah. So anyway, so they have their big battle go down, and I know it's something we left off in both this review and the other review. The comedy really works in this film.
Oh,
this
God,
is a film that for the most
man.
part is very serious, but there is some comedy that still works for a lot of the majority.
Yeah.
Especially from Ant-Man
and
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Because I really think that if they do when they do a solo Spider-Man film, them two will have, if they ever get a crossover together, they would have cool chemistry, really good chemistry.
Oh God, especially Ant-Man. Paul Rudd just makes me laugh.
He is fucking hilarious.
Awesome, yeah.
Especially, there's a part where, the whole battle goes down the airport, and I like how...
That's where we see in the trailer, they get in a fight, and everybody's not... It's not just you think it's watered down. This is tearing everybody to fucking shreds fight. They're hurting the hell out of each other.
Yeah, especially when you have Spider-Man, who this is pretty much one of his biggest battles that he's ever fought for the first time. He's really amazed by everything. He's like, dude, you have actual metal? Holy shit, that's awesome!
Yeah,
So
basically, they throw some comedy. They're fighting. They're tearing each other's ass apart. Well, this is where it starts getting a little more personal. It starts with basically. Falcon, I think it is his name, right?
Yeah, the Falcon.
The Falcon. He pretty much, if you remember from the Iron Man series, his Tony Stark's co-man.
War Machine.
War Machine. And basically what he does, the War Machine, is paralyze him. Hawkeye, pretty much, the Falcon dude, actually.
No, it was the...
was it Falcon?
It was the Jarvis guy. What was his name again? I'm trying to remember.
Basically, what it is...
The one guy, I forgot.
Can't remember the name, but anyways, War Machine gets shot down. And I'm guessing Tony Stark's taking it as Falcon did it, and as Falcon's holding, as his friend's pretty much dying, War Machine's dying in his arms, he shoots
Falcon.
Pretty much Tony Stark's team pretty much won the war. Won the battle. The battle. Because pretty much after that, they pretty much all go to jail.
Yeah, Hawkeye,
Ant-Man.
Scarlet. No, I think Scarlet Witch does, but I can't remember.
Scarlet Witch does. Yeah, she's also put in. They all go to prison in this really remote. It's in a facility that actually goes under the
underwater.
ocean.
Yeah. And it's held by General Ross, who you may remember from the Incredible Hulk, which is interesting because it's cool that they brought him back, but because he is still looking for Banner, and I can see why they didn't bring him back, because Bruce Banner is still on the run.
Yeah.
So we're going to eventually see him in another Avengers film.
Yep.
So that's cool they brought him back. But yeah, pretty much that happens, and now Captain America is now going with Bucky on search for the true guy who's behind it all.
Yeah.
And so when this happens, there's a funny part where Iron Man is seeing the actual footage that's happening. Right, he's seeing the footage that actually happens when who the real guy is, because the real guy actually turned out to be the guy who was like a special force ops in Hydra. And
Hydra.
Well, I'm sorry, in the 90s.
And he's the guy who actually turns out to be the guy who's setting off Bucky.
Yeah.
And he's the guy with Red Skull's book.
Yeah.
And it shows him how him and the Russians were able to control Bucky and create like these Winter Soldiers. And we learned that there's more than one Winter Soldier.
Yeah, because it shows in a flashback, or I think flashback or video form, that Bucky was not just the only super Winter Soldier. There was more to it.
And they're more powerful.
They're more powerful than he was.
Yeah.
And so Iron Man goes after. Before he goes out, there is a funny scene where.
So now Iron Man now figures out. He goes pretty much. He finds out that Bucky didn't do it, and he knows that what he did to Captain America and his team. He wants to help them.
Yeah.
And upon going after him, Black Panther's also with Iron Man. And them two, while the rest of everybody's in prison, everybody gets arrested for what they did. Basically, they know that they find out that they're going to go to the original where they make the
super soldiers,
the Winter Soldiers, the factory where they make them out, which is in Siberia.
Right. So they go there, and so you think everything's going to be good when they're all teaming up again. It's like, okay, they're at peace.
Yeah.
But here's the biggest twist of all that happens. Mm-hmm. Okay, so they go into the territory where they see all the super soldiers still kind of rested. They're like in a coma or whatever. So the plan was that Emo was actually trying to.
What we thought was going to be all these Winter Soldiers getting woke up by the Russian dude, but there's a twist. He actually went in there to kill them all.
Right.
Because he goes, I can't control you guys. So what he does is he locks himself in this impenetrable building force where nobody, not even Superman, can get inside. And basically he's hiding in there and he's telling them, he goes, his whole plan was, I know I can't defeat you guys physically, but I'm going to tear you guys apart by making you guys kill each other.
Yeah.
He brainwashed each other. He's got Iron Man. He made it to where Iron Man wants to kill Captain America. He's basically wanting all these guys go at each other.
And here's where that happens.
He set it all up.
There is a sequence that happens which is the biggest twist of all, because I didn't see this coming. They watched this video that shows footage from 1991 where the people that Bucky killed in the very beginning of the movie was actually Tony Stark's parents.
So Bucky killed Iron Man, Tony Stark's parents. He the whole entire time. That's how his parents died.
And that
Bucky smashed him. And he goes into real detail in this movie.
Yeah,
it shows him like him bashing the dude's face, Tony
Stark's
his
head off, and
then he's strangling the mom until she can't breathe no more, and she dies.
And then he retrieves the extraction formulas or whatever to make the super soldiers.
Yep.
And so that happens, and then Tony Stark, you can see the rage. This is where you can really see the intensity from Robert Downey Jr.
Oh God.
He goes like, so he's like, you can see the rage on him. He's
his
like
tears, his anger, and he loses it. And even Captain America can't control him. He knew, and Captain America looking at him knew. He goes, something's about to happen.
Because what pisses him, what makes him more upset is the fact that Captain America knew the entire time, but he never told Tony.
Because he knew what it would lead to.
Yeah. And so the whole fight breaks out, and you can see that this is like really intense, because you can see that Iron Man is giving them all. He's ripping.
This is like where I've never seen a bloodier scene from Marvel scene, because you get Captain America. Let's start off with Iron Man. Iron Man is just busting Captain America's face through.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just boom, boom, and blood's just coming all out of Captain America's face. They're sitting there. Bucky's trying to help out. Bucky's getting his face bashed in, and then Captain America pretty much rips
his whole
arms off that he can't swing.
Yeah,
and tears his arms off, and Captain America just loses it, starts bashing. I mean, he tears the entire Iron Man suit apart, and shoves his shield through his chest.
Where he's almost dead, where his whole heart's about to go out, and then And then
Yeah.
after that, they're both torn and bruised so bad that it's a really good epic fight. Like
Yeah.
if you want to talk about really intense
brutal,
brutality, this is like the
This is like
equivalent-
Dark Knight
like Dark Knight
Rises,
where Bane and Batman are battling out. Like you can see
it's
the intensity.
brutality. Yeah, you
Yeah.
see them practically killing each other.
Yeah.
And then the Russian dude gets caught.
He's caught by Black Panther.
Yeah.
And then he has
As
the
he tries to
choice where
run.
he's trying to kill himself for a second, but then Black Panther stops him.
and says, "No,
And says,
no, more
we have more
revenge."
for you.
Yeah,
And they no revenge for you. So that all ends with them pretty much working their they're stopping their fight. And so they get back to the prison, and this time they keep the emo guy inside the prison, and this time he hints that there's going to be more because he's like, is it over? Because it doesn't seem like it, or something like that.
Yeah, he basically says, the guy asked him, he pretty much says, "You ain't got anything, you're done, you're finished," and he goes, "That's what you think."
Yeah. So it's hinting
yeah.
possibly that there's probably going to be something bigger than him that's even more of a threat, or he could be possibly hinting to Thanos.
So basically, Iron Man, the Avengers are broken up. They part ways, and Captain America forms his own team. And then it's pretty much months, maybe a year down the road. He emails, Tony Stark saying, what happened? It happened. Can we grow upon it? And pretty much in the future, maybe we can become friends again. And if you ever need our help, we're not the Avengers no more. We're gonna form our own team. If you ever need our help, just hit us up.
Yeah. So they go their separate ways, and then that pretty much goes like that.
Pretty much sums up the movie.
Now there is
more.
one scene that we forgot to watch in the theater, but I looked up on it, where there's an ending scene where Tony Stark gives Peter Parker a new gadget that he can contact the Avengers for or something.
Yeah.
So that will come later into play with the later tie-ins with Spider-Man.
Yeah. But overall, I love the movie.
I love it too. I really enjoyed it a lot, especially the intensity, the suspense, the darkness. The comedy worked too, especially in a lot of parts.
Everything worked perfect,
really perfect.
And I got to give it a 9 out of 10.
I'm going to give it a 9.5 because there's probably some more things I really liked. Like, I liked the action, how it built up. Because I think I kind of like the build up more than you did a little bit. Because I know you were kind of thrown off by how it kind of took a while for it to get used to it.
At first, this is one of the movies that I was really getting kind of antsy at the how long the build was going to be, but it paid off so good. I was minus that whole entire me bitching at first, because I was bitching at first with the whole build up, but it worked out so perfect. That's why I really jump up. It's a 9 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, it's a 9.5 out of 10 for me. I definitely recommend it the most. And I can't wait for Doctor Strange to come out too. And I'm if this is the last Captain America movie, it became the best one of all of them, because this is one of the few trilogies
1, 2, 3
that actually got better and better as every movie got on.
Yep.
And I really loved the performances. I thought the story was really wonderful, a lot better than the other two movies, and I can't wait for the next one.
Yep.
So hope everyone really goes and checks out Captain America: Civil War, and it's
worth it.
It is worth it. And just if you want to, just go check it out in 2D, because the 3D is not really that.
They really put in 3D, and even though the fights do pay off somewhat on 3D, this movie, you can tell, obviously was never meant to be a 3D film, because there's really nothing they're trying to show you so surprising that we've never seen before.
Yeah,
it's really a lot of 2D more than anything.
Yeah, it is,
because we see more people just talking, just popping on the screen. I was like, really, this movie didn't need to be 3D, so.
But anyway, we highly recommend Captain America: Civil War, and we'll be seeing you guys in our next review. And we hope everyone has a good weekend, and we shall see you guys later.
Later.